So what you're seeing here is a sort of an infinite waterfall that was designed and created by Steve Worley in our little mob grinder world. We have a mob grinder world where everybody's just kind of mob crazy. And you can see a mob grinder off to the rear right over there. But Steve's idea was actually a little less violent. He basically wanted to make a waterfall that was sort of like that Escher print. It's called Waterfall, in fact, that has water moving in one direction and going up to the top and then dropping off. And that's really what this does for real. Basically, you can see the pig there dropping off the top. It drops safely into a pool that's about 3 blocks deep. Drops down to the bottom, and then travels on up to the right. And you see now, I think it's a creeper is probably going to drop on down there. Yep. And you can see the pig starting to travel up to the right there. Basically, there's water. He figured out how to make water flow upwards. So up here is the mob spawner that basically allows creatures to appear and drop into the water. It was a little bit tricky to get creatures to otherwise appear in the water. And so here's the actual design of the water, the water device, as it were, itself. I can't fully explain it because I don't fully understand it. But what you can do is you can see at the bed there's basically a series of stairs. They don't have to be necessarily wood, I guess, but wood looks nice. So wood and then a block of glass next to them, and then there's a water source, I believe, that's on top of the stairs, sort of flowing towards the water, towards the glass. Glass has this kind of funny property of the way that water works with it. It does a strange thing. You'll also notice a bunch of signs on the side of on the sides of the walls there. So we have the glass walls, and then on those dirt cubes are signs which kind of hold the water back from flowing downhill the other way. So it's basically a series of sources of water, and these mechanisms all put together basically make for a sort of an unstoppable flow. It basically flows, on up the hill. And basically, I hope this is enough for you to sort of reproduce, what he's done here. It's nothing too magical, but he did have to go through about 4 iterations before he could really get it to go. So over here, one of the hardest things he found was getting water to actually sort of flow around corners. So here's his design to, I guess he put some water cubes at the top, to the right there, and they flow on down to the left, and that pushes the creatures safely around the corner and gets them to the next water flow, the uphill waterfall, as it were. So anyway, this kind of thing can be used for all kinds of wacky stuff. You can kind of imagine. Here I'm going to just jump in, and you'll see me just getting pushed up the water flow. I'm not touching a thing. It's just naturally pushing me. And I'll get to the top and drop in. Anyway, you can imagine this is all kinds of useful for if you want rivers. Basically you can have a sort of a typical downhill kind of a river. Here we have this water flow that's kind of pushing me along. I did have to, you notice, in that pool I had to hold down the spacebar so that I wouldn't drown. But the creatures naturally flow to the top. Anyway, that's about it. You can imagine, though, that this could be used for all kinds of cool things. That's about it. Enjoy.